All right, let's get the juicy details on the most popular videos from my channel of all time. Hey Fragrance family, I'm David, I'm a fragrance bro, of course your best source for everything fragrance related. Today I have a video talking about my most viewed videos of all time. Now I've been on YouTube for a long time and I went through my entire catalog of videos, which is almost 900 videos at this point. And going through all the videos, I realized I've been here for 9 years. And in those 9 years, I've done a lot of videos. Some of them are really popular. So today I wanted to talk about 10 videos that are really popular on my channel, plus 2 extra bonus ones. And if you want to see all these videos, I'll have a playlist up here so you can go and watch all the videos in full. And don't forget to smash that like for the algorithm. Before we get to the actual top 10, I'll throw out 2 runners up here. And the first one is on my review of La Nuit de l'Homme. This video was a review with my friend Jer on the channel, and we had a lot of great things to say about La Nuit. It's still one of my favorite fragrances from Yves Saint Laurent. And it's an excellent fragrance. I don't know how it's aged over the years. I hear some people say it's been really watered down, which doesn't really surprise me a whole lot, but it's still an excellent fragrance. And if you don't have it yet, definitely check it out. If you haven't seen the video, go check out the video. Next is our review of Terre d'Hermès. This is another one with Jer on the channel, really early on in the channel. And in this one, we actually talked about the Parfum version and the Eau de Toilette version, and if there are any differences there. We didn't feel there were a whole lot of differences, so we thought it was a great way to kind of lump both of them into one review. And that turned out to be a really popular one. This is another one that was really popular in the community, and I think it still is to a degree. It's an excellent vetiver fragrance, and it was one that Dan Mish really liked. He really popularized it, I think. It's an excellent, really dry vetiver with some earthy notes in there and some citrus. And this is another throwback video that I'm really proud of with my friend Jer. So yeah, that's really good. All right, now starting with number 10 is Keep Only 10 Fragrances for Life Designer Edition. And this was a video that I think I did last year. I think it was last year. And it was a tag video that was going around with a lot of creators. I thought it was a great idea, so I wanted to go ahead and put my hat in on this one. And I had some really interesting choices there. And in this video, I talked about how some of my tastes have changed since that video. And even now, my tastes have evolved even more since I published this video. That's just life. Tastes change. But in this one, I talk about 10 fragrances from a designer point of view that I really love. I also have a niche version of this theme that did really well. It just didn't do quite as well as the designer one. And I can see why. Everyone wants to have the cheaper fragrances in their lineup if they can. But I do think that the niche one is definitely where it's at. So definitely go check both of those out if you can. All right, number 9 on the list is Top 5 Fragrances for the Ladies. And this was done a long time ago, really early on in the channel again. And this was just as my friend Jer was starting to join the channel. We decided to do kind of a top 10-ish style video, and we each gave 5 fragrances that we liked. So it was a total of 10. I would definitely suggest maybe some things differently for my choices today. But I think even then, I think we still had some good choices there. Hopefully that helped out some ladies in the community. So if it did, thank you for watching. Number 8 is a video I did, I think about 2 years ago, and that's on aventus killers. This is another video that I'm actually really proud of because it's a style of video that some people do, but I did a different take on it. Some people have done aventus clones, and there are a million clones of aventus out there. I don't think that it's worth necessarily talking about that. Any company can clone a fragrance. I don't think that's necessarily worth discussing. So what I did with aventus killers is I talked about fragrances that are in the style of aventus, but they offer maybe a different take on aventus. If you want kind of a fresher aventus, or if you want a lighter aventus, or if you want a cheaper aventus maybe, or if you want something that is a little bit different than aventus, but you like that style of fragrance, that's what the video is about. But I really like that video, and hopefully I can come back to that theme for a different killer style themed video in the future. All right, number 7 is my Stuff Fragrance Heads Say, and this is one that I always get positive feedback on. This was almost like a YouTube meme in some ways. There were many channels on YouTube that were doing a stuff people say about different things in their certain niche that they talk about on YouTube, or maybe it's just something that's funny. I actually worked on this for a long time. time, jotting down notes of funny things that we say. And I mixed it up with different locations, and this was probably one of the most intensive edits that I did up until that time. And I'm really proud of how it came out, and I turned it into kind of my channel trailer. So if you go on my channel, if you're not subscribed, you'll see that pop up as the video. And a lot of people have liked that. They've shared it all over the place, and it's gotten a ton of views. It really hits the nail on the head of just all the strange jargon that we talk about and that we already know. When I mention all of the abbreviations just sequentially down the list, everyone knows what they are. And that says a lot. Number 6 on the list is part of my basics series, and it's basics number 14. It says, is that fragrance site legit? And this is one that I probably should have changed a little bit. The concept of my basic series is to talk about kind of basic questions that someone new to the community or new to the hobby might have, and just to help them out and steer them in the right direction. In this video, I was talking about resellers as a whole, and I want to explain that a lot of these resellers are legit and they sell good products for a really great price, a discounted price. But all of these videos in the basic series are sponsored by Fragrance X, so I was in kind of a pickle there because I thought it was a great thing to talk about, but I didn't want to necessarily advertise for a different company other than Fragrance X for these videos. So I just put Fragrance X in the thumbnail, and I mentioned Fragrance X as one of the examples. And so some people saw that as a conflict of interest maybe, and I understand what they're saying, even though the topic necessarily isn't about Fragrance X and being sponsored by Fragrance X. It was a little bit too close. If I were to do it today, I probably would have done it without being sponsored in that case, but I still think it's a great topic to talk about, and I still think that Fragrance X is a great example of one of those resellers. So yeah, and we'll talk about more about Fragrance X at the end of this video. All right, number 5 on the list is my video, Is Jeremy Fragrance Okay? And in that video, I talked about some strange things that he had been doing at the time. But he and I have kind of mended our little squabbles that we may have had against each other. And, you know, I have no plans of making another video on Jeremy Fragrance necessarily, though I do have a review coming of Date for Men. But still, I think this video was a great thing to talk about at the time, just because Jeremy Fragrance has always been kind of a loose cannon with his videos. He'll upload something that may seem strange, then he'll delete it, and he still does that. And sometimes he really does act in a very strange way. I don't necessarily know if he plans the videos ahead of time. I think he might just press record on the camera, edit the video, and then just upload it as quick as possible. I don't know if he plans it that much because he deletes a lot of videos. And this is one of those videos on my channel that was kind of talking about that strange behavior. And other people have noted it too, and I've gotten lots of emails talking about all these videos that he's done, that he's taken down, and all that kind of stuff. I'm really not interested in talking about drama and that kind of stuff anymore. Probably not. I wish Jeremy well, and I always hope that he's doing okay. So put that behind us. All right, number 4 is another Jeremy Fragrance video, and this was my reaction video. Now, this video in particular is the first reaction video that I did, and I thought it came out pretty well. And it was talking about some things that Jeremy Fragrance was talking about with his fragrance and that kind of thing. And it was definitely more sarcastic and biting in tone than my normal videos are. It got a lot of positive reception at the time. And so yeah, Jeremy Fragrance reaction. Number 3 is my video called I Was Right. Jeremy Fragrance is tripling his prices. And this is another video that was talking about kind of the contemporary, kind of juicy things that are going on at the time. And this is another, you know, controversial topic. It turned out to be something that Jeremy Fragrance talked about at the time, but didn't really commit to. And in a way, you know, I'm glad, because I think that his fragrance is definitely not worth triple the price that he was asking at first. And if he's selling it 2 for 1 now, I kind of almost don't think it's worth 2 for 1, but you know, that aside. He's selling it for a lot less than he was initially saying he was going to do it for. But at the time, everyone was thinking he's really just doing it just to rip people off. And that was what this was talking about here. That being said, of course, I wouldn't say that he and I are necessarily friends, but we can talk and be civil about things. And at least on my part, I've always been open to agree to disagree. So if we can agree to disagree on some things and then agree on other things, that's cool. So that's where we are now. All right, number 2 on the list is another one in my basic series. And this one is on what are the differences between eau de toilette, eau de parfum, etc., eau de cologne, all those things. Essentially, what are the differences in the concentrations? This is one that has really skyrocketed and is really one of the most popular videos on my channel currently. I hate the way some people describe eau de toilette, eau de parfum, and all the concentrations. They describe it as in terms of numbers and like percentage of numbers. Personally, I think a lot of the concentration numbers that you find in like charts and that kind of thing, I think they're wrong. I don't see that at all. But this is another video that I think is really helpful to beginners who maybe want to have a fragrance, maybe they want a stronger fragrance than they're used to, or maybe they don't understand what eau de parfum means and they think that might mean a perfume or maybe a woman's fragrance. This really helps identify and define the terms, so I think it's been really helpful to people, and I'm glad that it's helped a lot of people out. All right, and number one video on my channel is never wear Axe. But this is a video that I really want to stress to especially younger guys, teenagers and people in middle school and high school who are considering getting something that makes them smell good. And so their first choice is Axe. I think that should be your last choice. I think that the smells are very dated. The concentrations don't last long, and the value that you actually get is not that good. You get a much better value for buying a cologne that's gonna last a long time, that's gonna make you smell better to other people. And you can find just great deals. You can find them for like $20, find really good deals for a fragrance. And you're gonna spend $4, $5 for a thing of Axe that's gonna last you maybe 3 weeks max. Definitely get a cologne, it's gonna last a lot longer. And I have actually 2 videos on Axe, but this one is the first video that I made years ago when my son was a baby. I think he wasn't even 1 year old yet. You can actually hear him at one point in the video, and some people thought it was like a ghost or something, which I think is funny. It still doesn't look great, and it's dated, but I think it's a great video all the same. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online retailer that sells thousands of legitimate fragrances for a discounted price. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. So those are my most popular videos on YouTube. What do you think of them? Have you watched all of these? Let me know in the comments what's your favorite. What's your favorite video that I've ever done? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. Of course, if you haven't already, click that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. And of course, click subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'm David with the Fragrance Bros. I'll see you next time. Bye.